Season 10 tier list. This is not end all be all. This is not I am 100% right. This is not on 100% what you should be playing. This is from the 6 days of PTS experience that I got from watching other people's shit, from talking to other people, and from good players I know going and testing builds and testing shit. All right. So do not rage, do not cry, do not tell me your god is not high enough, because I do not care. If you're bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond, it doesn't matter. It's okay, but it doesn't matter. So Achilles, I think Achilles is gonna be doing just fine. I'm probably gonna throw him into A tier for now. I think he'll more than likely be in this S tier, but there's gonna be a lot of very good solo laners, and I don't know how he's gonna lane against them. I do think he felt good in the jungle, and I don't like Achilles. So for me to say Achilles is in the jungle, I think I fucked this up. What we'll do, I'm gonna do this because I think this will be more what I need. I need a fuck it or A plus. I need an A plus tier. I have to have an A plus tier. We got yellow in this bitch. Yeah, okay. Can I? What? I can't move this anymore? Oh wait, I can rename them. I have to move them all down. No. I thought I could move this before, dude. Did I just get bamboozled? No, wait. No, I got bamboozled. All right, let's do this. A plus. A. B. And C. Boom. 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 All right, there we go. We'll do this. What's the prediction? What's the prediction here? Whatever. All right, so Achilles gonna go A plus for me. I can see him being S tier. It would not surprise me, but like I said, there's going to be a lot of very, very good gods going into this meta, and stuff's gonna change. People are gonna get nerfed. Items are gonna change, and gods are gonna move around. Now, my biggest thing is I think brawler solos that can do constant damage and fighting are going to control that totem. If you control the totem, you're going to control the lane all the time. That's if it doesn't turn into a 2-man lane, like with the junglers sitting in that dual lane a lot, or in that solo lane a lot, making it a dual lane. So, Achilles going to be A plus for me. Agni, I think Agni is extremely basic going into this season. I don't think he's any better than he was. I don't think he's bad. I think this will be a solid spot for him. AMC, I think AMC is going to kind of fall down a little bit from where he was. A tier. I could see you arguing even B tier for this. They're nerfing his bluestone because multiple stacks of bluestone no longer exist, and multiple hits of bluestone are going to reduce damage. So being able to spam poke people is not the best thing in the world for an AMC player. I think he'll be fine. His clear is still gonna be good. Still gonna be a high damage ability hunter, and they did buff a lot of ability items like Crusher. But for now, we're gonna leave him in A tier. Apwash. I'm going to do something weird here. I think Apwash was underrated last season. I think with the angles coming in to the map, I think with the amount of healing that's going to be on the map, and I kind of feel like with Apwash's safe kind of positioning in mid lane, he's going to have a good season. I don't see how you couldn't. His ult and his kit controls this jungle super hard. Apwash might be the only mage I can think of that can truly lock down like an entire section of the jungle, where usually mages, even like Zeus, are going to lock down smaller areas. Yeah, Zeus has a big circle, but Apwash can combo out, throw his ult out, and just lock down an entire side of the jungle. So I'm going to Apwash A plus for now. If he goes back to A, it is what it is. I think he was already underrated going into this season. People should have been playing him more last year. I think Alma's going to be broken. Alma had 100% win rate, or pick and ban rate. I don't know if it was win rate at Worlds. They didn't nerf her at all. They buffed the hell out of soul laners. They made auto attack soul laners even scarier. So Alma is going to sit at that SS tier for another who knows how long. Alma's also a brawling solo, like we talked about with Achilles. Alma can just auto attack and fight you the whole game, the whole time. He's gonna control your stuff. So I had Alma top tier. Honor is going into A tier. I think Honor will be fine. I think the dual lane is gonna be very similar to the way it was before. I do think that pure auto attack hunters and less ability kind of hybrid hunters where they can have all those end abilities, I don't think they're gonna be as strong as just auto attack, like, you know, your Ramas, even your Heimdalls, where their autos are just slamming really hard. I think they're gonna be a little bit more valuable than your Honors. Could be wrong. It could become an aggressive dual lane with a lot of fighting. Usually not what happens, so we'll see. Anubis falling down to B tier. I don't know if that's down. I think Anubis was probably B tier before. So they buffed Divine Ruin. It's broken even if they took the anti-heal away. So every mage will have Divine Ruin, even in your poo-poo games, because it's going to be a core item. So good luck playing any heal spamming god when that's in the game. Brawlers is even better than it was. Toxic is now something that could easily be picked up by a solo laner. And then Contagion is broken. So Contagion is literally completely broken. That will be built by every tank. You're not going to heal on Anubis. You are going to die. Quang, I think Quang is going to do better going into this season than before. They changed items. There's no more Akate. They tweaked Telkines to be an earlier game item and still work really well in the late game. And then they added a new auto attack item that's like an auto attack Kins. Quang scales very well with that new item. Tank Quang is going to be a thing because tank items are doing too much right now. And then damage Quang is going to be a thing. So Quang is going to sit in S tier for me 100%. And this is like as a solo or a jungle, more jungle than anything. But solo will work. How did Cyclopean ring feel? I went Cyclopean with a full tank Quang jungle build. So Cyclopean and my starter were my only items with power. And I was second highest damage in the match, unkillable, won every 1v2. It was stupid. So, yeah. Aphrodite, gonna suck. They didn't change anti-heal, passive anti-heal at all. They didn't touch it. So healers still suck. Healers sucked last year. They're gonna suck this year. On top of they buffed all the anti-heal items. So why would you want to play a healer? Don't play Aphrodite. Unless you just like losing. You know, that's up to you. Apollo, I don't see Apollo doing much better. I know people were expecting global ults to kind of pop off. I'm not sold on that. I do think split pushing in casuals and ranked might actually be a strat, like even better strat than it was before. But I don't think you're picking gods based on split pushing. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Arachne's going to be A tier. She got nerfed. Her items got nerfed last patch, like last big patch when they nerfed mannequins. She's better now because they buffed all these items in the game and you're not going mannequins anymore. So she's an A tier. Ares gonna be A tier. I think Ares is still just the same, you know, alt spam bot. I don't think he's much different than he was before. I do think he can work with pretty much every comp. So A tier is gonna fit very well for him. But if you're running low CC on your comp, you don't want Ares because you need CC. You have to have some CC in your comp. Artemis got crazy buffs, guys. Crazy buffs. Good job, Hi-Rez. Really proud of you guys for these buffs. Your root now does 10 more damage, and your 3 now does 10 more damage. So Art is just killing the game. B tier. Complete trash, though. She can't clear. Her 1 is worthless. There is no reason for you to play Art at all. Like, it's actually insane. Comparing her buff to Scotty's buff is embarrassing. Because both of them are the worst hunters, by far. They were equally bad. Even if you look at my video where I talked about, like, I was going through the worst gods in each role, they were the 2 that I was talking about, and I think I played Artemis. They buffed Scotty way more than they buffed Artemis. RDO. All right, so I'm putting RDO in A tier, but I would not be surprised if we saw RDO kind of pop off. Glad Shield cannot be picked up by Guardians. RDO spams abilities. RDO will excel with Sundering Axe. RDO will excel with Contagion. RDO will excel with the Archdruid Stone. And she'll excel with Glad Shield. So she'll have 4 items that are doing damage to you on top of her abilities. I would not be surprised if she was a top solo laner, but she's always struggled because the solos that have to sit in and do their damage over the course of like 30 seconds aren't always the best, but with those items, she can kind of pump out way more damage in 5 seconds than in 20 seconds. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll probably put her in A+. I think that's more fair. I think A+ is where I'll put her for now, because I kind of have the expectation she's going to get way better really fast. Athena, what the fuck was it? See, dude, something's going on with like my audio. I don't know what that is. It's really annoying. Athena is going to be A tier, 1000%. Nothing's changed on her. She's a solid support, nothing too crazy. Atlas for me is still going to be a top support. I think I'm putting him in S tier. He's the same Atlas as before. He's broken. He's got so much CC. He's got so much poke. He's very annoying. His ult is a crazy ult that is extremely underrated. Kind of popping off. I'm going to have spicy takes this tier list on purpose. I'm not going to go conservative with this tier list. I want to be like, I want to like, you know, talk about how I felt on some of these gods. I'm saying it now because I played a Wheelix last night. I was 1 level up on a Scotty, and I one-shot her. She couldn't play the game. As soon as you have Jotuns and I keep forgetting the new name, Shadow Drinker, which is 4,600 gold for 2 items total. I think 2,300, 2,300, if I'm not mistaken. Might even be less. Isn't Jotuns like 2,200? I don't know. It's somewhere in there between like 45 and 4,600 gold. So that's not a lot. You'll finish that at like the 8-9 minute mark if you're having a good game. Those 2 items are 95 power, 20 flat pen, and then as a starter shard, as a jungler, you should be going Carapace. I will do a video on this later, tomorrow. With Carapace and those items, you will do true damage to anybody who's not building defense. So I one-shot a Scotty because my 2 did the full 400 damage rather than, you know, 50 to 100 damage being taken off of that, 50 to 100 damage being taken off of an autos. It was pure true damage. I think that is going to kind of run the early and mid game. That's why assassins they're gonna peak really well in that area. You know what? I know what it is. I know what's doing that. I know why the audio is messing up. YouTube's gonna be confused. So there's some weird Twitch thing going on. If the Twitch stream open, it randomly unmutes it. And for me, when it unmutes it, it's super quiet. And I had my stream up, so I'm gonna close it. Hopefully it goes away. But yeah, so I have a Wheelix going in S tier. Now you're gonna say, oh, you can do that on every assassin. Every assassin doesn't have a Wheelix's kit. A Wheelix's kit has always peaked around like the Thor peak, but when she's ahead, she can stay ahead through to the late game. She's not gonna fall off. Knockups are OP, so she's not gonna fall off. Her ult is still very strong on a very short cooldown. I just think that playing the early game is going to be like old Thanatos, where you're like, you know, you're dealing with dealing with true damage on your 2, which is one of the best abilities in the game, by the way. If you don't think a Wheelix's 2 when used right is one of the best abilities in the game, you're trolling. You're also talking about auto attack canceling because you're going Hydra's 3rd item after those 2 items we talked about. You're talking about the knockup CC. You're talking about the ult setup. You're talking about high mobility and able to rotate around a bigger map faster. I think Wheelix is going to be kind of just dumpstering everybody for the first couple weeks. So I have her in S tier. Deal with it. It is what it is. But yeah, as a jungler, I go Carapace. Unless I'm playing like a mage. If I'm playing anyone who can auto attack, I'm going Carapace or however the fuck you say it as my shard. For those of you who didn't read the patch notes, assassins, everyone has their own little passive now, every class. Assassins get 5 flat pen, and then the flat pen goes up a percentage per level, and then at max level, you have 10 flat pen. So with Carapace, and the 5 flat pen you have as a jungler at level 1, everybody has 0 defense. So you do true damage. If you've ever killed somebody and press T, and in the parentheses, you see the little damage number, the minus damage number, that's how much their defense caused you to not do. You won't see that when you have Carapace. There will be no parentheses because there will be no damage mitigated. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. It's a lot of damage. And that, like I said, she already scales well into the mid game, and then late game, she's never really had a problem late game. It's more of if you don't have that early pressure on the map, it can get kind of hard. She'll have the early pressure. She wins most 1v1s against the assassins too. So, Baba Yaga. People hyped her up because she can stack stacks. I think she's still really good. I think she does well on this map because of her ability to do damage over walls with her ult. But I don't think she's OP. I don't think she's a top pick. I think she'll get through a lot. I think she'll be good on almost every team comp. So she's going to sit A+ for me. Bacchus. Bacchus moving on up for me. All right. If you played against any drunk characters, you know the drunk effect is one of the most annoying things in the world. Bacchus' shit is like 5 seconds. So as long as you're a smart support player and you're using the Bacchus ult at the start of fights, you can't play the game. He has a spam heal now on his 1. They changed something else on him, right? Yeah, the drug effect is not affected by DR. I think they changed something else. I can't remember what. Oh, the cooldown on your 2 is shorter. It's like the same at all ranks or something now. So you have healing on your 1, which you never had. That's just a new stat. You just heal now. Passive healing on a full tank that has regen is nuts. So you're going to be running around full health all the time. And then your 2's up more. So Bach, and it's just easier to play. You'll be able to flop in. Even if you mess up, you pop your 1, you'll heal, you run away. I think that's the biggest thing. If you're in ranked and you're playing Bacchus, sorry, I'm dying. You can go regrowth. They buffed regrowth. Regrowth is now a breastplate and it has defense on it. So there's no downside to on regrowth. So if you're playing Bacchus and you flop in and you're like, oh, my team didn't follow me. Or, oh, that was stupid. You chug and you turn around and you run away. And you're fine. So Bacchus is going to do, you're going to see Bacchus every game, 100%. There's going to be one other Guardian you see all the time, I think, unless you're banning him. Bacchus is one of the 2. I think Bacchus is going to be better this split in terms of team fighting, but I don't think his farming and invading is going to be as impactful because it's going to be way harder to do and get away with. The auto attack build that I was running is pretty strong. I'm assuming it's going to be the meta build for like auto attack junglers, and will be good on Bacchus era. So we'll see how that affects him and his team fighting. The buffs they did to him, I feel like were irrelevant as hell though. Baron, I think Baron is the same spot where he was before. His issue is not his kit. His issue is where he fits on a team. He's like almost a mage, but not quite. And he's almost kind of supportive, but not quite. He's low mobility, so he's not quite safe. But he's also hard to kill sometimes. He's just in a weird place. I wouldn't recommend spamming him too much. I think if you do, you play him in mid, but I think he's like an A-tier god for a mid laner. Bastet. I think Bastet is underrated right now. This is another, like, people are probably gonna be mad about the wheelies. We're talking about a map where you can't blink over a lot of the walls because they're big ass walls. So your leaps are going to be really important to get over for ganks and to chase and, you know, invade or whatever. Bastet will be the only character that's able to use the leap, do what she wants to do, and then get back. So if you're leaping over walls, people aren't going to know where you are exactly. They're not going to follow up. They're not going to be able to chase you. I think I might have just said a Wheelix. Bastet. Bastet's going to be strong because of that, being able to leap over, dip out, reset, whatever. I think with the items too, it's going to be kind of crazy because if you're getting any procs on your Shadow Drinker as an assassin and you need to wait out cooldowns, which is what Bastet would be doing, you don't want to be auto attacking too much on Bastet. You're gonna 1-2 wait, 1-2 wait. It's gonna be sick. She's gonna be good. Bellona, I think Bellona's gonna be better because of the axe of animosity. I think the auto attack solos are gonna be strong. I want to put her in S tier, but I'm not sold on S tier yet. Being able to brawl and fight a lot in the solo lane is gonna be big, but someone like Ama can play kind of both sides of the auto attack versus ability based. Bellona's going to be pure auto attack. So we'll see. She might be S tier. I don't think she's any lower than this any day at all. I don't think there's any way. Cabrakan, I think he'll be in the same spot he was before. As a jungler, as a support, as a solo. I don't think he'll be as good. So I'm going to drop him to A tier. I would have said last patch or the end of the year, I'd probably put him in A+ or maybe even up here in S. In the solo lane, he's building full damage. And in the jungle, you're going lifesteal. That's not going to be the meta thing to do anymore in that solo lane. You will do more damage building full defense. You will be way more relevant late game. And it's easier to play. So you're going to see Cabrakan fall down a bit. Camazotz, I think Camazotz is just bad. I know Kama comes in and out of the meta at a competitive level all the time, but I think Kama is bad. He's got 4 damaging abilities, which is dope. but he has no CC. So if you pick him and your teammates don't have the CC and they aren't running the higher CC characters, your team is instantly worthless. One big thing as a jungler, which is where I'm saying Kama should be mainly played, you're gonna have CC, you're gonna have knockups, you're gonna have pulls, you're gonna have stuns, you're gonna have, you know, taunts, whatever. Kama's got nothing but a slow. Wingblade got a crazy OP buff, so that kind of eliminates the idea of Kama just being a chase down character. I don't see Kama being good at least the beginning of this split. No way. Serb is the same spot. Nothing's changed for him. CERN. I'm between these two. I'm like really hard between these two. I think we're gonna go SS for this. CERN was the best ADC next to Ishtar last year and at the end of the year and at Worlds. You saw it. They nerfed something on him, but it didn't affect him at all. Everyone's saying, oh, no, S. No, we're SS tier. And the reason for this, if you didn't know, when they buffed CERN, they gave his 2 a cripple. The center of his 2 is a cripple. There's a Guardian they just gave a cripple too. So if that's a comp you're going against, you will not move. You will die. You literally will not move. You will die. Not saying that's the only way it works. Just saying if that's a comp, you won't be able to run away. You'll die. The second thing for CERN is the fact that he has lifesteal built into his kit. You're going to see meta item of Aussie come into play here with one of the most broken lifesteal passive I've ever seen in my life. You will never, ever outtrade a CERN early game with his 1 lifesteal proc and an Aussie proc. It'll be impossible. You will never, ever win that trade. There's no god that will win that trade. It won't happen. And then you carry that into the late game. He can pretty much tank every objective he wants and be at full health. You also will have a starter with lifesteal on it more than likely because you're going to be going Death Toll and then probably selling it late. Triple lifesteal on a character is not, you can't beat it unless you have anti-heal. You won't have anti-heal till late into the game. So CERN is going to be kind of hard to deal with. Chalk still sucks, dude. Chalk will be better. I gotta be fair here. I just hate Chalk. Chalk's 8th tier. Chalk will be better in the solo lane than ever before, but not on his own. It'll be because of the late game items and because he will actually do something in the late game if he's playing correctly. Sundering Axe, Contagion, Arch Druids, Stone of Binding, Glad Shield. There's one other item I'm forgetting, but I don't know what it is. That extra damage on top of Chalk's ult should be able to win you a team fight if your team is playing with you. Mystical Mail too, yeah. It'll be enough damage to make you relevant late game. It'll make every tank relevant. They already nerfed Arch Druids and it's still broken. So I don't know that we're going to see it nerfed again anytime soon. It's kind of worrisome. We'll see. Chunga is still butt cheeks. B tier, not quite Aphrodite because she can still play the mage role. But overall, yeah, don't play Chunga if you want to win games. Please, for the love of everything. Cryptis, A+ because of her safety. Outside of that, she's just an okay hunter in my mind. I think Chernobog will be a little bit better where he like spikes early season because of his global ult. I said with Apollo, I don't think global ults are going to be the meta and you're going to chase global ults. But I think it'll be very valuable and make fighting and moving around the map really, really easy for lower level players or new players or just somebody who wants to sit in lane. Chiron. What am I doing with Chiron here? I think Chiron is A+. Ability hunters are still going to hit hard. They're going to be very annoying. They made Crusher way better than it was, which in turn helps with someone like Chiron, who's an ability hunter. I think he'll be doing just fine. I think he's way better and way easier to play, so he'll be way more common than someone like Anher or AMC. That Calv is coming? No, it's going. Thank God. It was worse earlier. Chronos. I think Chronos is going to stay A. They did tweak the auto attack mage items, but Chronos doesn't really rely on them. Chronos is more mage based than auto attack based. Like his autos hit hard and he plays around his actual autos, but he isn't an auto attack god. He's a mage. You play around one shotting and autoing off of that. So I'm still going to stick Chronos down here in A tier. Kleena, everyone asks me about Kleena over and over and over again. Kleena's going to go into A tier. It's another Camazotz style god, but with some CC in the kit, with the blind, with the silence. Having knock immunity on yourself is valuable, and then the wall movement. I don't think the wall movement on this map is as good as the last map. The last map had really large peanut looking motherfucking walls. This map has 8 billion little dinky walls on it. So I'm gonna go with clean as to be A tier-ish. Cthulhu, I'm throwing him in the A tier for now, but he would be a very safe, easy to play solo later. So bumping him up to A plus, I wouldn't argue, or even if he ended up higher, be cool. But I'd say like A plus. If I really knew how every other god was going to interact, I think the more brawl style gods are going to do better rather than the safety style gods. Did he say blind instead of deaf? Clean as 2 blinds somebody. If you hit somebody, they can't see you. Maybe they consider it a deafening. The one deafens. No. The one deafens. The one is a silence and a deafen. The 2 is a blind. Y'all trolling. Cucullin. I think Cucullin's gonna be sick. I can hear myself still. Where is it coming from? I'm closing all my Twitch boxes. That's the last one. Do you enjoy playing Cthulhu? Hell no. I think Cthulhu is boring. I'm gonna put Cucullin in S tier, but I think Cucullin's also gonna be like top. And I think the lower ranked you are, the better Cucullin is. Another brawly solo laner, wins you the early game, controls the early totems. It's not gonna be quite a snowball off of it, but it'll make the lane a lot easier. All right, Cupid. I think Cupid is still very, very much average. After being meta for a couple months, they nerfed him a little bit, and he's back down to being average. Dodgy, still an A+ god. Great team fights. Nothing wrong with Dodgy in the current meta. I think I'd go for more kill. I can still hear myself. I don't understand. I think I'd still go for... You didn't hear that one? Yeah, I don't know. I'd still go for someone like Thanatos or anything over your Dodgy for your rank games. Dodgy is going to be something that plays well if your teammates are good and can definitely carry, but it's way easier. It's not in my head. I can hear it. If you guys can't hear it, it's fine. No, it's not on my phone. Something's going on with my audio. I'll fix it eventually. Dan Zaboro, he's getting played a lot towards the end of the year. I kind of like him, and especially now. With the new lanes, the safe gods or gods that were safe before are not necessarily safe anymore. The lanes now curve out rather than in. So when you're running from somebody, you're running at a curve, so it's farther. The lanes are longer. You're running at a big curve. Getting away on that dual lane is going to be very difficult. Danza, while he doesn't have a high mobility item or item ability, he's got his ult. His ult can take him across that entire lane. No problem. He's one of the only gods that can go across 90% of the map at warp speed, CC immune, and then stun somebody. So I like Danza. I also like, because the lane is wider, if Danza's hugging the wall side, it will be easier for him to use his leaf than ever before. It's the voices. It's my voice. Discordia, A tier. I do believe we always say Discordia is only good because of the passive. What are you guys saying about comp? I know, trolls. Discordia, we always bring up the passive. Passive is going to be even more valuable because if you are winning that soul lane, which is where you're going to have that passive more than likely, because you'll be fighting a lot, then you control that totem and you control the lane. That new totem change is a really, really big deal. Erlang Shen, I think he's still poop after the nerfs, which is good. Keep him in the poop tier. Let him chill down there. Eset. I think Eset's a little weak. I don't like Eset at all. I don't think anything about her is strong. I don't think the new map affects her. Erlang Shen SSS+++. Yeah, it was last time you played season 6. Never talk to me again. ESET's going to be B tier for me. Fav tier is going to be super mid tier support for me. He's going to be valuable and good, but he's not going to be a top pick. This motherfucker right here. I'm pretty sure Fender has been A tier or B tier for the last 6 years. So I don't like doing this. Ranked and casuals. Fender is now SS tier. You guys can say S tier. He's SS. Why is he SS? Remember when I told you on a Wheelix you can go Jotuns and Shadow Drinker and you have 100 power and 20 flat pen? Fender's Brutalize with those two items will be doing 700 to 800 damage. Not only that, you now get 25% attack speed on your 2. Not only that, Aussie has 50 power on it. So you pair Aussie with Aussie proc with Fafnir or Fender's 2 heal with attack speed from the 2 with the high power of all the other items you're going to build. And you have a very difficult to kill, very high ability damage god with a stun and a CC immune ult that CC somebody and takes them wherever the fuck you want to. In reality, his kit, if you're not instantly, the other team is instantly turning and killing him, his kit is just absolutely insane. On paper, it's insane. Now, in practice, it's insane. Fender is going to be something everyone's getting farmed by, especially like plat and below. You're going to see a Fender Bander picked every game. There's no, he's fun. He's easy to play overall. Once you get used to him, you see a lot of Fender. Freya. I like Freya a lot. I think she's undervalued most of the time. I think she very rarely loses rank games. So we're going to put her in S tier. Her overall game is better to me. She doesn't rely on the pure lifesteal of like Bancrofts and everything. She relies on the new items and having really high attack speed, which fits her kit perfectly and allows her to kind of scale into the late game, not just as like, oh, I'm going to run you down. She can kind of just sit there and do whatever she wants. Play slow, fast, whatever now. So I'm putting Freya in S. Razy Crazy God, Ganesh. Nothing's changed. She's going to be A tier. Geb, still basic Geb. Nothing's changed. She's still going to be A tier. Gilgamesh. Thank God that this dude is not top tier right now. He got nerfed a while ago and everyone kind of threw him to the I don't know. They didn't even throw him to wolves. People just forgot about him. He's still playable and good. Can have good games, but he's nowhere near the pub stomper he was before. Guan Yu, he's okay. He's not going to stomp lane. Anti-heal is going to farm him, and anti-heal is good. Contagion's good. Divine Rune's good. Brawlers is good. Good luck. I think Hachi's a weird one. I think Hachi's going to be good. I don't think he'll be as safe. So instead of like having him an A+, I'm going to put him in A. I think he matches well with like the other A hunters, like these three. I'll put him in A. Yeah, this motherfucker. I don't know how you're gonna kill a late game Hades. I just don't know. With the tank builds and a little bit of lifesteal, I don't know how you're gonna kill Hades. What's this for? Season 10. Oh yeah, let me do this. Oh, I can't fit that in the title. So that's day 1. No. Let's do this. Will that fit now? Perfect. Boom. Season 10 starts tomorrow. Yeah, so Hades, I don't know how you're going to deal with him. I'm gonna be honest with you. He usually does fairly well in lane. Yeah, usually we'd say anti-heal makes it so you can counter these gods. If you build any of the new items, the damage you're gonna pump out on Hades is going to be annoying. Your ult's still gonna make you unkillable. If you opt for a more tanky build where you get mitigation, you're gonna be mitigating like 80% of damage incoming to you in your ult. You're just not gonna die. The only way you die is if your team doesn't do anything for a very, very extended period of time. You're going to see a lot of Hades. Can someone ban Razy, please? Thanks. Hebo. We saw some Hebo played at Worlds. That does not mean you should be playing Hebo. Big reason Hebo is not higher in, like, you know, not even arguing a S tier for me is Fenrir. Fenrir is the hard counter to Hebo. You will never, ever play the game if Fenrir's in the game. So Hebo is a weird one. I'd say Hebo's still very good. Definitely still does the damage that you would expect from a Hebo, but he's just not as safe running around this jungle as he was on the other one. The other jungle, you knew where to go. You knew where people should be. This jungle, you have no idea. Heimdall. Heimdall is another one of the hunters that is hyper safe, even though that lane is extended and much bigger. He still shouldn't get ganked, and he's one of the only hunters that will be very difficult to gank if he's playing properly. So Heimdall, especially with the auto attack builds, I think he's going to be pumping. They buff dominance. You could still squeak in a Transcendence build. Aussie is going to be hyper valuable for you. The auto attack builds are going to slam for you. You aren't a crazy mobile god, so if you're going into Boomerang, which is what I think is going to be a really strong item in Season 10, you get at movement speed for yourself. I think Heimdall's going to be sick. If, you know, you run into Smite, but he's playing Heimdall and he loses, that's because he stinks, not because Heimdall stinks. Hell is butt cheeks. Hell sucks. Hell sucks. With Surtur being in the game and Warriors being able to do what they can do, the anti-heal being where it is, you shouldn't be able to play Hell. It should be impossible. That's simple. It should be impossible for you to get a Hell game in and not get shit off. There's nothing you can do about it. Won't she be good against Fenrir? No. Fenrir will insta-kill her. See, you're thinking she can dispel his ult. Fenrir's Brutalize does 800 damage with 2 items. If you get one, even if you dispel yourself and then Brutalize, you're going to be at no HP, and then he's going to sit there and auto and heal for more than you did.
Hey 30, hope everything is good.
No, it doesn't. You could be the best Hell player in the world going into this season. Hell is not going to be played. Fuck that. Fuck that. What up, Jacob? Thank you for the sub. What hot dog? Thank you for the sub. Dylan, thank you for the sub. Knights Devoted, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you guys. All right. Hera, I think Hera's still going to be kind of doing her thing. Safety mid laner, but not doing anything too crazy. Hercules got a buff. I'm going to move him up. I don't think it's crazy buff, but I think having attack speed on the 3 makes him extra scary. And I don't necessarily mean as a solo. I haven't seen him play the solo. I think he'd be better, obviously, if they gave him attack speed. In the jungle, with a high damage god like Hercules, that attack speed buff you get from the 3 allows you to get an extra swing in. Hercules' passive with that power proc, on top of a full damage build, you're sitting there autoing. I 1v2'd at level 3 because of my 3. Full health support, full health hunter, and I killed the hunter 100. I had 30% health and I couldn't die. It was impossible for me to die. Because of how hard you auto and how fast you attack, I think Herc's going to see a little bit of play as a damage dealer. I don't necessarily know how we'll see in the solo, but I don't see how he can be bad in the solo. Usually brawls pretty well against a lot of gods. Just depends on the matchups. I killed Rogue, but I killed Jutsu. It is what it is. Horus. I think Horus is really good. I kind of want to put Horus in like S tier. I really like Horus support. I think Horus support is the best aggro support that can't die. I really like Horus. I'm going to put him in S tier. I think he was already like an S tier support before. Probably the only warrior or, you know, physical support I'd even consider right now. Like at all. You just can't kill him. Cannot kill him. Ho Yi, same place as he kind of actually. I like the auto attack builds on Ho Yi. Ho Yi's not safe in lane. His team fights in the jungle and his bounces are probably really good, but I haven't seen him, so I'm not gonna drop him an A+. I'm gonna leave him an A for now. Be a pretty basic hunter for the time being. They buffed on bats, by the way. They made him cracked. No, he's the same. They buffed his one. I don't know what drugs high res was on. It was like, yeah, let's make that better. No. The one is leveled last. It does nothing. The one change doesn't make him better. And Bat's still mid. Ishtar's broken. If you're arguing this, it's because your brain can't process the one. Ishtar's broken. That's all I got for you. We saw it at Worlds. Nothing's changed. She's broken. Izanami. I'm going to throw Izanami. Where am I at here, boys? Izanami's still A tier. You're not safe at all. You're actually probably less safe on Izanami than ever before with that lane being bigger. It's really easy to chase you down that lane. We'll go with that. Janice. I'm going to put Janice up here. I'm going to throw Janice in A+. This doesn't mean you should play Janice. It means if you're, a learned Janice, you know what you're doing, you put some time in, he'll be very valuable. The red buff is now right next to lane, so it's actually really easy to do your own red buff and get back to lane in like half a second. The rotation potential out of a Janice, we talked about global ults a couple times, really valuable for your team. So if you're a good Janice player, Janice should be doing well. Uncommon weekend L. No. Here's the problem. You don't know how to play Janice. How do I know this? How do I know that you specifically don't know how to play Janice? Out of everybody that plays Janice in a year, there's like 20 people to 30 people that actually play Janice correctly and are relevant. You're not one of those 30 people. Only play Janice if you're going to practice and put in the time to get good. Don't just randomly pick him. Don't be like Wraith in the show match and be like, I'm going to fucking lock in Janice. Janice is a hard god to play. Takes a lot of brain power. Stop picking him. Unless you're going to keep picking him and learn. Jingwei. I think Jingwei is going to be the same. Just hyper safe hunter. Nothing different at all. I think Yorm is going to be pretty low tier going into this. He just doesn't seem to do anything right now. The builds that are coming into the soul lane aren't going to make him specifically better, which I am happy about. I don't like when Yorm is better. Kali! I am between A+ and S tier. I don't think Kali's broken, but I do think Kali is a top jungler. I'm going to put her in S tier. She's already a top jungler. She's the god you go to if you want to carry late game. You don't want to snowball. You want to carry late game. The new attack items are going to be really, really hard to deal with Akali. If you sneak in the Shadow Drinker, getting your ult procs over and over again will be a lot more common. So I could see her being even more of a ranked terror than she currently is. We'll see how it plays out. But she's definitely not going to get worse. Khepri. I'll throw Khepri in A+. I think Khepri being in a safe spot and getting really good ults off is easier now because of all the walls in the jungle. So in team fights, you can just kind of squeak back to the back of the team fight and just keep somebody alive very easily. Let's not put Khepri in A+. I think King Arthur is still going to be really good. I don't think he can proc Archdruids, right? I'm trying to think if he can proc Archdruids. Does anyone know? I know people played him on the PTS. Yeah, his passive should keep him from proccing it. I think we're going to see a little less King Arthur. I don't think it's because he's necessarily bad. I think it's because the items are so good. I'm going to put him... I'll probably put him in... Fuck, do we put him in A or A+? He's still going to be good at brawling and controlling the lane. The Archdruids would be more for the late game. And his late game is not going anywhere. It's the same fucking King Arthur. But Bluestone is less valuable in him, so you'll be going Sundering Axe, which will be even better late game. But your clear will be a little bit slower. I'm going to leave him A+. I can't have him fall down to A. There's no way he falls all the way down to A. Once they nerf Archdruids to a realistic point, King Arthur will still pop you with Glad Shield, with Sundering Axe, and there's not gonna be a lot you can do with it about it. And then Contagion. The big thing with King Arthur is people will say, "Hey, go CC, lock down the fucking King Arthur." With Contagion, it will make up for whatever ability you interrupt. It will reverse that damage anyway. The damage will get done just in a different form. So I don't see King Arthur being worse. He's definitely gonna be better late game. His laning phase will probably be a little teeny bit slower, but it'll be less likely to die. Kukulkan. I don't think Kukulkan's better at all. Corridors are smaller in the jungle, so it should, on paper, be easier for you to hit your ult. Realistically, you'll rush your ult, and you won't use the corridor or the positioning anyway, so that's why we're not going to bump them up. Builds won't change too much. The new mage build is ass, or the new mage item is ass. You're going to want Divine Ruin, because Divine Ruin's OP, and Divine Ruin does not fit easily into Kukulkan's build. They did make Spear of the Magus at percent pen, so that's better on him. But Divine Ruin's hard to squeak into the build with Spear as well. We'll see. Good old Kumba. If you played at all on the PTS, if you've looked at the PTS, if you've glanced at a PTS picks and bans, if you even smelled the patch notes, you know Kumba card is broken. I don't know what person decided, hey, let's do this. And everyone, raised their hand, said, yeah, I love it. They gave Kumakarna a cripple on his 2. If you know what Kuma's 2 does, it's a root for 2 seconds. You ever been rooted and crippled at the same time for 2 seconds? No? You ever been rooted and crippled for 2 seconds? And then mezzed for 5 seconds? You ever been rooted, crippled, then mezzed, and then ulted off the map for another 3 seconds? Well, if you're playing Smite tomorrow or any other day, you're going to see it every single fucking match. Every single fucking match. I don't think you understand, like, having your character just unable to be played by abilities that you won't use beads on is a terrible feeling. So he's not fun to play against. If you're an enjoyer of Kumbhakarna, you're a Kumbhakarna player, and you're having fun, please seek help, because there's absolutely something wrong with your mental. He is a non-fun god. He's not fun. He's a no funner. No, not a fun haver, not a fun creator, not a fun enjoyer. He's not fun. Kuzimbo is still poop. He's just not doing anything, dude. Straight up. He's not doing anything at all. We saw at Worlds and pre-Worlds, I started playing him, and then other people started playing him again. Lancelot does a lot of damage in the jungle. I think he'll do even more with the Shadow Drinker. I'm going to throw him in the S tier because of what he's been doing, and I think he's very easy to play. I don't enjoy playing him, so I don't play him a lot, but I'm going to put him in S tier. I think he'll be really, really kind of OP for most of your picks. I do think that will depend on what's being banned. I expect these guys to be banned most games, which means these guys are way easier to play. Lancelot will be one that excels a lot when Akuma's not in the game. Loki, I'm not going to put him up too high, but I actually think Loki might be back to the, one of the most hated gods. The Shadow Drinker on Loki's really, really stupid. Bro, Alan, stop. Loki's going to one-shot somebody and then go into stealth. And it's not going to be his stealth. And as he's doing that over and over against you and opening on you with, the one procs, you're not going to know when it's a one proc versus just the Shadow Drinker coming out of it. It's going to be very, very difficult to keep track of Loki in the team fight, especially in a ranked game where there's no real comms. So expect to see a lot of Loki and expect to not be able to deal with it without, experience and people grouping. There's no way. Literally no way. Watch out for people offering CSGO skins on Twitch DMs. Okay. We're in 2023, boys. If anyone messages you trying to give you free shit or something seems too good to be true, it is. So ignore it. If it's real and it's one of your boys or someone that cares about you, they will contact you in another way to the point where you could verify it. But if you're clicking on shit anywhere, your emails, Twitch DMs, YouTube comments, wake up, please. You're not 90-year-olds and the internet's brand new. Stop. Maui is still the best support. I think Kumba is the easier, more annoying, like god tier support, but Maui on a good player, we saw it at Worlds, will win you every single team fight, and it hands down should not even be argued. Maui is nuts. Top support in the game. He's correct. Medusa, I don't see any reason Medusa moves up. She's going to be kind of weak with the lower rotation potential and kind of movement in the lane. She's not going to be as safe. Maybe even move her down to B, but I'll leave her in A for now. I think Mercury is in a weird spot. Crit did not get better in this patch, but Rage did, which is a direct Mercury item. You can easily overcap crit with 3 items because of the boomerang. The boomerang fully stacked gives you 50% crit. Rage now at fully stacked is 55 power and I think like 50 crit or something, or 55 crit, right? Or 45. It's 45 crit. It's 55 power, 45 crit. So you get 95 crit from 2 items, and then going Deathbringer, you know, you're solid. The problem is they both spectral, but the reverse of that is it's more than likely entering a meta where hunters don't build crit. So that means it'll be safer for you to go crit because, you know, one god building crit, people aren't going to always build spectral for that. So I think Mercury's going to be good going into the season, and then he's either going to get better as time goes on or he's going to fall down a little bit. His ult does make it up the lane, but it's way different. The lanes are bigger. You have to position completely differently to get lane ults, which will be an adjustment period for a lot of players too. I think Merlin's okay. You enter lane at level 2 most of the time. So Merlin's not going to be as valuable with that. Like before, Merlin last year's level 1 full clearing the wave better than anybody. That's not going to be a thing anymore. He's still going to full clear the wave, but a lot of other gods are going to keep up clear or fight the Merlin and kill him. So I don't know. We'll see. Morgan Le Fay, same position. She dies really easily. She's not that safe. Her laning phase isn't crazy. She doesn't do as much damage as she used to. I think Mulan is a little overrated and played a little more than she should be. I don't think she'll be all that insane going into the season. I don't think she's as brawly in that solo lane as she'll need to be. And I don't think the sustain she has built into her kit will be as valuable as it used to be because the early game of that solo lane is going to be a brawl fest. I think Naja is pretty good right now. Solid space. You don't get picked as much in the jungle with this new season. At least I don't see that happening. Items are going to be good for Naja. Fighting is going to be good. Naja's also really, like, you hit level 2 and you can kind of kill anybody, even the solo laners right now. So Naja with Carapace, level 2 kills going to be very common. Neith, I think Neith is all right. Global ult's going to be very, very frustrating to deal with. So Neith in the A+ tier. Nem, I think, is A+. Nem hasn't moved at all. Just been in the same spot. They buffed Nike, but I don't think Nike's any better. We'll throw her in A tier. Nox, pretty irrelevant. If you're playing Nox, you're doing it for a very specific reason, or you have like a comp in mind. Nua's hyper safe mid, so that's not a bad pick, but not a great pick. I think Odin is butt cheeks. I think Odin sucks. B tier for a full counter for a mobile team, you need anti-heal. Olaron, I don't think is going to spike at all. They buffed his crit percent from 1.3 to 1.5. Maybe we see him make a comeback off of that a little bit, but I don't think so. Osiris, I feel like should do a little bit better with the brawl aspect of the solo lane. I think Pele is a little overrated. So I think if they change Shadow Drinker for Pele, Pele's big thing is you full commit on Pele. You guys love Pele. Every time I'm like, what should I play? Half my chat says Pele. Which is fine, but I know why you like Pele. You like Pele because you W key, you full commit, you either kill the person and, you know, tear through the team fight, or you insta-die. If Pele could proc Shadow Drinker and the 3 of Pele not break the stealth instantly, then I think Pele would be really, really, really good. Because that one-shot potential is there. Pele is still going in, knocking you up, combo you, you're dead. I think Pele is good in a team setting. I think Pele is way less good when you're just W keying through ranked. But I do like Pele more than most of the other assassins. Persephone, I think Persephone's butt cheeks. Poseidon, I think Poseidon's better. I think Poseidon's in a really good spot. Poseidon will control jungle rotations because of how fast he is and because of how easily he can throw a cripple over a wall and shut down an entire path to a lane. So I like Poseidon going into the season. Ra, I think, is pretty mid tier. You can play him safe with this jungle and with the way you'll be able to move around the map, but he's not going to be a terror. Raijin, I think Raijin's still pretty butt cheeks. Honestly, I think I'm putting Raijin C tier. I think Raijin is trash. Rama, I think Rama's one of the best hunters going into this season with the ult, the range of the ult, and with the builds that are going to come out. I think Rat's pretty mid tier, jungle and solo. I think Ravana is still one of the safest, easiest junglers, but not necessarily one of the best all around. I don't think Ravana has a downside like Pele does, but I also don't think Ravana will win you as many rank games as someone like Pele would. Scylla, I think Scylla is an A+, easy A+ god. She's going to be doing a shit ton of damage this year like normal. What do they do, Serket? Oh, yeah, Serket's 2 now taunts for the full duration instead of having to scale up. So it's a 1.4 second taunt, which is definitely better. Don't get me wrong. It's way better for hitting combos and being able to one and take your time. Serket's still just not, she's not there yet. They need to do something to her to make her get there. I think Set is still very, very good in the jungle. In the solo, people have been playing him in mid. I think in mid he's kind of eh. Been seeing him in ADC too. Kind of meh. I'm going to put him in A+. Shiva, going to be a good solo laner going into the season. Kid is easy. God is easy. Team fights are easy. Full defense is going to be valuable for you. And the items are going to be very, very strong for you. You shouldn't have a problem playing Shiva. Scotty got a buff. I like Scotty now. The dog regens very, very quick. I think the builds that are going to come out are definitely going to benefit Scotty. And I think if you're a good Scotty player, you're going to like this season. Sobek, I think his Sobek's pretty mid tier. Great setup, but late game, once you pluck, you die. Soul going to the season. Soul's been good. She got nerfed a little bit, knocked down a little bit. I don't think the auto attack items make her way better. She plays around a little bit of attack speed and a lot of power. So I'm going to leave her in A+. Wukong, I think a lot of people thought Wukong would be sick coming out this season. I'm not sold on that. Putting him down to A tier. I think he's been A+ for a little bit. Damage solo laners are not as good at doing damage as tank solo laners. And the fact that I have to say that out loud is it's kind of disgusting. Like it's really, really stupid. I haven't seen you play Sun yet. Yeah, because you're in bronze. I'm never going to see you play Sun. Susano is still going to be a top jungler. He's going to terrorize jungle team fights. You're going to be able to hit everybody in most team fights, I feel like, with the way the jungle pathing works. I think Sylvanas will be good in lane for pressure, but I don't think it will translate as well as like a Maui or a Kumba to the game, to the team fights and all that stuff. I think Terra is solid right now. This is going to be a spicy one. Remember, this is a ranked and a casual tier list. I don't care what competitive is going to be. I think Thanatos is going to be like the Loki. You know, like where we saw Loki for a long time. I think we're going to see Thanatos there. And you want to know why? Well, we already saw Thanatos played at Worlds. So clearly Thanatos can be played into the late game. We've seen that all year last year. Thanatos doesn't fall off, hasn't fallen off. Thanatos with Shadow Drinker means you execute somebody and you disappear. How the hell are you going to deal with Thanatos? Fast from a Shadow Drinker, fast from the 2, hitting was 1 for 8 to 900 late game, and more than likely snowballing early and mid. He's still the best early game god, I think, in the game. And you're not building mannequins anymore. You don't even need mannequins. You don't rely on mannequins at all. You're going into Eye of the Jungle now. I, as a jungler, dude, and you want to win, like I'm confident on Thanatos. If you're a confident Thanatos player, I would spam Thanatos. I would play Thanatos every single game going into the season. You can counter gank very easily with the ult. You can move around the map very easily. Your clear is good. Your team fight is nuts. And Carapace will make you do true damage, for the first 12 levels. I think the Morrigan's going to be decent because of the god swaps you're going to have. But I don't think she's going to be the best mid like you have to play. Definitely playable, but not the go-to. I think Thor is going to be very, very strong. Same reason as all the other ability junglers. Not quite SS. I think Thoth is going to be strong in this split because of the rotations and because of the laning phase. You have a really safe clear, and the mid lane is set up weird now with 2 entrances on into the lane on one side. It just feels weird. It feels like getting ganked might be a little more common for those mages, but Thoth shouldn't be getting ganked. I don't know. Tiamat was not played at all in ranked last year, but I think Tiamat's good. I think World showed how good Tiamat was. I think Tiamat should be played more, and I think Tiamat is a strong mage going into the season, so we're gonna put Tia in the S tier. Tsukiyomi, I'm gonna throw Tsukiyomi in A+ simply because of Shadow Drinker and your ability to use that ult and then potentially disappear from the team fight. Tier, I think, is gonna be a strong solo laner, same as he was. Not quite the best, but very, very good. Ull, I kind of feel like Ull falls off a little bit from where he was. Ull dominated lanes really hard. I think Guardians are going to control, like your Kumbas and your Mauis are going to control the lane a little bit more than an Ull would. Or even the Hunters in general are going to. So it kind of gets away from the ability Hunters. They buffed Crusher only, I think, for Ull, so his build's not going to be much better. They nerfed Bluestone, which is going to make him poke less. So I'm putting Ull in A+, and we might see him fall off a good amount. I don't know what people were reading in the patch notes of Vamana, but everyone was saying Vamana got nerfed. If you at all know how to read or understand the game, you would know that's not true. If you were one of those people that, Vamana is terrible now, then you don't know enough about the game to be having those kind of opinions. They made it so Vamana's ult no longer heals. He gets a shield and he gets 30% lifesteal. This is better because it doesn't mean Ankh doesn't proc onto Vamana and make him instantly die in late game team fights. He'll still die fast if you don't have defense. The big thing is, if you're playing him solo, you have Warrior's Animosity, you have Archdruids, those both proc off of your auto attacks, and you will be very, very tanky. You'll be able to build an Aussie for lifesteal, which will proc well with your Berserker shield, which is going to be great for Vamana. I know one of my solo laners was full defense, and I think he said he was autoing for 500 late game. So solo lane Vamana, definitely gonna have some value. His laning phase and his controlling lane's probably gonna be way worse. He'll probably get ganked a decent amount too. If the team's focusing you on that side. But as a jungler, I think Vamana's better. Auto attack Vamana is gonna be fairly unstoppable anytime you baby ults. In the baby ult, you're gonna run away, you're gonna die. I think that stops in the late game fights, so Vamana, we'll see how that end game goes, but I think Vamana is better than he ever was. I don't think he's a lot better. I think he's almost there as a damage dealer and as a soul laner. Vulcan got buffed a while ago. The one can't be crippled to be valuable against Kumba, but you can still get locked down outside of that because of the mez and whatever, but it's definitely going to be good in the Kumba pick, so I like Vulcan in that A+ tier. Still a little unsafe against a lot of other gods. Xbalanque got buffed.
Is the speed buff bug still?
Play Xbalanque, please, for the love of everything in your life. Xbalanque is going to hit so hard. Xbalanque's passive is a shit ton of power, essentially, once you get it stacked up. The build is going to be an auto attack build, not a crit build. So you're going to be autoing for just absurd numbers, 600, 700 damage with these crazy builds and insane pen. And then your ult is giving you 60% attack speed now, which is just a brand new stat. They just added attack speed to the ult. So anytime you ult, you also get range on your ult, so you should never lose a 1v1 if you pop your ult, especially with Aussie procs, the turn potential, the lifesteal that's there. Xbalanque is going to be very, very, very good in that lane. With most hunters being a little bit less safe with the bigger lane, I think Xbalanque falls into that category of being a little less safe. But I also feel like Xbalanque was already a little less safe. He does get countered by Fender. I would not pick Xbalanque if Fender is top picked in the game, but assuming Fender's banned every game, which you should be doing, then you play Xbalanque. Xing 10, I think, is still a fairly, fine support. Wouldn't be playing him solo too much. He's safe. He's easy to play. His ult's valuable, so we'll put him in A+. Yamoja, I think, is still very, very, very good. There's no downside to playing Yamoja unless you're a bad Yamoja. Ymir, support. Don't play a jungle, please. Has more value. Ymir's wall in this jungle is nuts. There are so many angles where Ymir can double block a path. So he can use one wall to block 2 paths. I can't tell you how many times I've had a Ymir on my team and it just absolutely shut down a solo laner or shut down a guard. Just someone who doesn't have like a leap. These people that usually just rely on their dashes and their consistent damage movement shuts them down completely. Outside of that, you will die a lot on Ymir. But the items in the game now, the Prophetic Cloak, and they say you're going Spirit Robe, you can get a ton of percent mitigation. Mitigation is not affected by pen. So if you have 40% mitigation, you take 40% damage. 40% less damage. You can get up to 60% mitigation easily in the support role now in the late game, which you will not die. If you have 60% mitigation, you are not going to die fast, at least. It will take them a while to kill you. If you're taking 60% less damage, that's insane. So maybe we see Ymir kind of have hit his stride, full build. Getting there is going to be difficult. You're going to die a lot. I think Yu Wong is very good going into the season still. Ace Kid is just nuts. They buffed it to the point where he's probably the best mage. Zeus, it's just not safe enough to be played. Zhong Kui, I think, is fine. I don't think Zhong Kui is bad. Even in the solo lane, I don't think he's bad. He can use Glad Shield now, which is kind of crazy. And then Sun Ring Axe too. I don't think I'm putting Zhong Kui higher right now with how good warriors are going to be in that solo lane. And then if you're wondering where Surtur is, he's not on the website yet. He will be on the website tomorrow when Hi-Rez drops the patch, because it updates with the patch, with Hi-Rez updating their website. Surtur's SS. Surtur's regen was nerfed, and it's still unnoticeable. He's unkillable. He has an absolutely insane ult that you can use to engage or just disengage from every fight. People say, oh, he doesn't have mobility. It doesn't matter, because if you're using that ult in the middle of the fight, you're not going to die. And in late game, if you're engaging with the ult, you're one-shotting whoever you engage. Not because the ult's high damage, because of the build that you go in the solo lane. So on Surtur, your late game engagement, or if you're a mage or you're a hunter player and you're playing against a Surtur, he's going to ult you. And when he ults, he goes up in the air as a meteor. And you see him coming down as a big circle. When he lands on you, he knocks you up. So he's going to hit you for, late game 500, 600 with the ult. Its base damage is 500, by the way. I think it's 550. That's before scaling. So we'll say his low power, he hits you for 600. When he autos you, he's going to auto you. It's going to proc his Sun Ring Axe on the ult. It's going to proc the Archdruid Fury. And it's going to there's something else I'm forgetting. What's the other thing it's going to proc? There's something else going to proc. You're going to die. Oh, Glad Shield. Sorry. Glad Shield. It's going to proc Glad Shield. That amount of damage is going to be close to your entire health bar without any other abilities used. So before he uses his 3, before he stuns you with his 2, you're going to instant die. So good luck with that until they nerf the items. And then I mentioned his sustain. He's unkillable in lane. You can't 1v2 kill him. He can sit there and fight you. In the event that you have anti-heal and pen and everything you need to kill him, he'll ult out. He won't be getting ganked unless he's a really bad player. You're not getting away from him in the late game because of his 3. If he gets on top of you with his 3 up, you're not moving. He's extremely broken coming out tomorrow. After he was nerfed. He was nerfed. Is Horus S tier and support? Support, yeah. Does anyone know if Surtur takes damage in the air from Tsukiyomi? I don't know. I bet you he does. Because I don't think they said he leaves the map like Yorm, but I don't know. I would run Freya jungle or ADC. Why'd I put Op Wash A+? All jungle fights can be massively controlled by Op Wash more than ever before. The fight areas in the jungle are usually split because of the pathing into like corridors, and Op Wash's ult will cover both rather than just one, like on the last old map. I also think Op Wash's damage is insane. Did you miss a CERN buff? CERN was picked and banned in every single match at Worlds. He was already the best ADC besides Ishtar pre-Worlds.